Reporter Megan Brand is here to talk through this and other headlines out of Washington this morning. Megan, good morning. So where is this race going to be won and lost? Does Jackson have a realistic path to victory there in Maine?
Hey guys, good morning. Yeah, Maine is expected to be a really tight, competitive state, but a really important one. It's a state that Democrats are eyeing as a vital state to win if they're trying to win back the Senate and turn that blue. And it's also a really interesting state politically because it's a state that is represented in the Senate by Susan Collins, who is a Republican, but it's also a state that President Trump lost in 2024. So over the weekend, we got a bit more of a taste as to how these two candidates are going to be framing this race now that we are officially in the general election portion of this race. So Troy Jackson, in a speech over the weekend, criticized Susan Collins, arguing that she expresses concerns, but that she doesn't do enough to sufficiently take action and address those concerns. Another dynamic to watch is the extent to which he is able to tie her to President Trump. He said in that speech as well that she served President Trump. Now, meanwhile, Susan Collins had told our colleagues at NBC that she's served in the Senate during 5 administrations and that there's not a single president with whom she has agreed with everything on. She also pointed out a point that she disagrees with President Trump on, saying that she disagreed with him on his decision to try to put more tariffs on Canadian goods. She's trying to lean into her independence, saying that she opposes President Trump when she thinks that he's wrong and that she supports him when she thinks that he's right. And President Trump has also weighed into this race, endorsing Susan Collins for another term, guys.
And in some other news, it looks like President Trump is trying to challenge the way the Smithsonian Museum teaches American history. What's going on here? What has he ordered?
Yeah, so President Trump signed an executive order to have what was referred to as warning signs placed in front of the Smithsonian's National Museum of American History in an effort to try to correct what it referred to as inaccurate information put in the museum. Now, the executive order said that this would be temporary, and this also comes after a report was released by the White House on the 4th of July that criticized the way that the Smithsonian's present information to the public. That report had targeted the Museum of American History in particular, arguing that it was ideological and political. And that report had said that it wasn't able to be trusted to, quote, to tell America's story honestly and in a way that is inspiring, unifying, and worthy of our great republic. So this executive order also said that those temporary signs should inform visitors about the findings in that report. So the Smithsonian didn't provide a comment to NBC, but previously, after that report had come out, the Smithsonian secretary, his name is Lonnie Bunch, had said, defended the Smithsonian's work, saying that it was driven by scholarship, accuracy, and an uncompromising commitment to tell the fullness of America's story, guys.